A few years ago, something happened to me that still keeps me awake at night. Even now, sitting here typing this out, I realize how lucky I actually was. At the time, I thought it was just some creepy interaction in the woods. It wasn't until later that I understood how badly things could have gone. A couple months before all this happened, I moved into a quiet, rural neighborhood surrounded by forests. I've always hated crowded cities, so living somewhere peaceful with hiking trails everywhere felt perfect to me. Almost directly behind my house was a narrow trail leading deep into the woods. Over time, hiking became part of my routine. Every Saturday morning, I'd wake up early, throw on my backpack, and spend hours exploring. Eventually, I discovered a hidden path that connected to a public nature reserve nearby. It wasn't some huge state park, just a local trail area with benches, bathrooms, and a small parking lot. Still, it felt like my own secret entrance into the forest. Whenever I found somewhere interesting, I'd record little videos on my phone. Nothing for social media, just short clips documenting places I discovered. One time I found a hidden creek with a tiny waterfall pouring down a hill. It looked unreal, like something from a dream. The place I found on the day this happened wasn't nearly as impressive. It was just a small clearing with swampy water and dead trees surrounding it. But for some reason, it felt peaceful. Which was strange, because the entire hike that day felt wrong. I can't explain it any better than that. Every sound in the woods made me tense up. Snapping branches, rustling leaves, even birds moving through trees made my stomach tighten. I'd walked those woods dozens of times before and never felt anything like it. So when I found the clearing, I stopped to relax for a minute. I pulled out my phone and recorded a quick video. "Just found this little clearing," I said into the camera. "Probably gonna head back toward the public trail soon." That was it. Maybe 10 seconds long. Then I continued hiking toward the public trails. Eventually, I reached the park bathrooms and went inside for a minute. But as soon as I walked back out, a man stepped directly in front of me. He wore a black hoodie, sunglasses, and a purple baseball cap. "Hey there," he said confidently, like we already knew each other. I awkwardly said hi back. He joked about us almost bumping into each other, and I gave one of those fake, uncomfortable laughs people do when they want a conversation to end. Then I walked away, but I could hear footsteps behind me. I turned around and saw him smiling. "Looks like we're taking the same trail," he said. Something about him immediately made me uneasy. I told him I was actually waiting for someone. That was a lie. He nodded and kept walking, but then suddenly turned around and came back toward me. "Hey," he said, "could you help me for a second? My car hood is stuck. I need someone with smaller fingers to pop it open." The whole thing sounded ridiculous. And what made it worse was the fact he'd literally just claimed he was taking the trail. Now suddenly he needed help at his car? I pointed that out. He quickly changed his story and said he was taking the trail to his car. Except the parking lot was in the opposite direction. At that point, every alarm bell in my head was going off. I genuinely considered locking myself inside the bathroom and calling someone to pick me up. Then, thankfully, a couple walked past us. Without even thinking, I walked directly up to them and started acting like I knew them. The woman looked confused for maybe half a second before realizing something was wrong. Meanwhile, the guy in the purple hat just stood there awkwardly watching us. I kept talking to the couple, pretending we were old friends. After about a minute, the man finally walked away toward the parking lot. When he was gone, I explained everything to the couple and thanked them for helping me. We watched him get into a small red sedan and drive away. The couple offered to call police, but honestly, I still wasn't sure if I was overreacting. Eventually, we separated, and I hurried back home through the woods. The entire day felt wrong. the bad feeling during the hike, the strange man outside the bathroom, everything. That night, while looking through the videos from my hike, I replayed the clip from the clearing, and my blood went cold. Behind me, partially hidden between the trees, was the man in the purple hat, standing there silently watching me. He'd already been following me through the woods before we accidentally met outside the bathroom. I replayed the clip over and over, trying to convince myself I was imagining it. But it was him. Same hoodie, same hat, same sunglasses. I suddenly realized he wasn't randomly talking to me. He had followed me through isolated woods, waited until I reached the public bathrooms, then tried getting me alone near his car. That realization terrified me more than anything else. I ended up calling the police and filing a report. They searched the area and questioned people nearby, but as far as I know, they never found him. I also never hiked alone again. And about a year later, I moved away completely. The scariest part is that I still don't know what he wanted. Maybe he was harmless. Maybe he wasn't. But whenever I think about that video and realize he was silently standing behind me in the woods the entire time, I honestly believe that random couple may have saved my life. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because I upload new disturbing true horror stories every week. And if you've ever experienced something creepy or unexplained yourself, feel free to share it in the comments below. Maybe your story could be featured in a future video.